yesteryear. Now we're on Shushan Purim, the 15th of Adar, marks the Hilula of one of the most famous rabbis, especially in Spain, during the 1400s respectively. His name was Rav Shimon ben Zemah Duran, Zecher Tzaddik Libracha, who become a great rabbi over there, also known as the Zemah Duran. He was born, I believe, in the year 1361 and passed away in 1444. Was a great rabbi of his time, known as the Rashbats popularly. Also, he was a great rabbinical authority, especially a 15th century Posek of his time, and he had many different deciding matters with regards to halacha, and is very, very much widely quoted in various different halachic books, Torah literature books, for many hundreds of years. He was born in 1361, I think, in Palma, in Mallorca, respectively, and passed away in Algiers, I believe, in the year 1444. So we're talking about nearly 600 years ago he passed away, but without doubt, in his time, he was arguably one of the most famous rabbis, without a doubt. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life over here on this special edition series today. Okay, so what's interesting was he was obviously known, as we stated at the beginning, as a Zemah Duran, and known as the Rashbats, or the Tashbats, according to rabbinical authority. He was a student, let's just say, of philosophy, astronomy. He was a mathematician also, and especially with regards to medicine, he was an expert. And he practiced, I think, for a number of years at Palma, respectively, in Mallorca. Obviously, he being the 15th century, main posek, he published many different decisions which he made on different matters on halakha, which has been widely used in various different halakha books over the years. And so he was born in the month of Adar, interesting enough. So he passed away in Adar. He was born in Adar in 1361. Various accounts, let's just say, puts his birthplace as either in Barcelona, according to some opinions, or of Mallorca in of itself. He was reported over a near relation to the, but not necessarily grandson of Rav Levi ben Gershon, who was a great rabbi of his time, and he was a student of Rabbi Ephraim Vidal and of Yonah de Miestra, respectively, in Zaragoza. Remember, Zaragoza at that point in time, in its day, had a phenomenal Jewish and Torah community itself, but there was a lot of anti-Semitism taking place in those days all over the vicinities, just like it was all over the world at this point in time. It unfortunately was happening also in Spain, which has been very widely documented about on various different publications and different videos. I would recommend everyone to watch over those previous videos. I think there was a persecution in 1391 in the Balearic Isles, if I'm not mistaken, and this was in Mallorca. So he fled Spain with his father and his sister, and they moved to Algiers. So at that point in time, he would have been about 30 years of age. He would have been, and he would continue his studies at that point in time with the great Algerian rabbis, Rabbi Isaac Sheshet, who was known as a Rivash, who had great status in the Jewish community in himself of Algiers, and really, but after, I think he actually retired. Rabbi Duran will become the rabbi of Algiers in 1407. At that point in time, he would have been about 46 years of age, and he didn't want necessarily any confirmation of his appointment by, let's say, the regent of that place in of itself, and it was reported over there was unfortunately massacres in Palma in various different points of time at that point in time. So he would lose all his property over there. All the anti-Semitism we see now, was then also, so he was forced against his will to accept a salary from the community, which he didn't necessarily want to do at the beginning. Obviously, he wanted to continue with his sustenance and to continue his teaching, so he had to do that point in time. He would hold his office until he passed away, so it was many, many years. And I think the epitaph written by himself has been reprinted, let's just say, I think just recently from a manuscript in the Orient, I think, believed over. According to Rav Yosef Sambari, Rav Shimon was very well respected in various different judgment circles, Bet Din circles, and he was, I think, the father of the Rashbash, if I'm not mistaken. It's actually interesting. Rav Duran's Magen Avot was a polemic against Christians and Muslims, so he was fighting anti-Semitism and against different religions at that point in time. And I think it was published, the fourth chapter was, of the second part in a separate Keshet Umagen book, the Arrow and the Shield book in of itself. Now let's explore some of the works which he actually wrote, included among his works, because he wrote many great Torah books in of itself, and obviously being the stature that he was in his day. So let's explore some of the works that he did. He was obviously a very prolific writer in his time, and he wrote different commentaries on various different, let's say, the tractates of the Mishnayot and the Talmud in of itself, and on just on various different places inside the Torah in of itself. I think with regards to synagogue rites, for example, in Algeria, and in various different, let's say, responses that he wrote, he showed a profound acquaintance with the entire halachic body, the entire halachic literature in of itself, which has been pointed out. He had a theological and a philosophical scholarship, as well as he was well broadened mind within regards to secular learning. Also, it was highly reported over, especially in the Magen Avot. Appears, let's say, as a reported over as a clever controversialist, and there was an ability, a great ability, was evidence in his writings against the Hastei Kreskas. It was reported over. He afforded him to, in these books, to give like a defense to the Maimonides at that point in time, and a commentary on the Torah, the 5 books of Moses. And he takes occasion within regards to the polemics of Rav Levi ben Gershon and the book of Eov. He would speak about, especially, I think, especially in his introduction at that point in time. I think he gives a commentary on the Pirkei Avot, the ethics of the fathers, respectively, shows his very broad historical sense in of itself, and especially Seder and Mishnah, Lehe, Rambam. Very much so also. Rav Shimon would also write a considerable number of poems. Remember, poetry, especially in Spain, was very, very common in those days, and also in recent years. Religious and secular, he would bring in. He commented on a Passover Haggadah. We're coming to Passover just over a month away, and the Hoshanot, and the works of more ancient poems, let's say. He was author of numerous pamphlets also, which is interesting. Following a list of Rabbi Duran's writings, obviously it's, I think, arranged in letters of the Hebrew alphabet on the basis of a catalogue drawn up by the great author himself. Like among the books, let's just look at some of the great Torah books that he actually wrote, because there was a really, really huge amount, huge range of Torah books, including I believe the Ohe Moshe and Mishpat, which is a commentary on the book of Eov, which we spoke about just beforehand. I think it was printed in various places, including Venice in late 1580s, and Amsterdam, I think around 1724-ish time period. The Zohar HaRakea was a commentary on Rav Solomon ibn Gabriel's as Harot, let's say, which I think was printed in 1515 in Constantinople. There was also the Kiddushei HaRashbaz, which is a novel on the various different tractates, including Nida, I believe, and Rosh Hashanah, Kinim. I think that was printed in Leron in 1744. Also writings on Ketubot and Gittin, and there was the Yabin Shemua, which was, let's just say, talking about Shechita and Badika, the Maaseh Hametz. This will comprise of also, with regards to Hametz and Matzah, the Afikoman, which was on the commentary of the Pesach Haggadah, the Tiferet Yisrael, which was on the new moon, respectively, the Perush and the commentary on the Mishnah Zevahim, in of itself, various different writings. Let's explore a few more of the great works of his, because there was many great works he actually had. There was various different other perushim of itself on the Torah aspects. It was the perush Hilchot Brachot, I think there was also. There was a perush on the Masechet Ediot, also a perush on Hashanot, which was published, I think, in the Hashanot according to the Spanish, let's just say, the Ferreira in 1553. There was a perush also on the, I believe we say, the Kezat Piyutim, of which several, let's say, pieces are inserted in the Algerius Mahsor in Leron, which was compiled in 1772. Commentaries on various different things. Kuntras, Tehinot, ou Pizmonim, which is religious and secular poems put together. I think that was printed in Constantinople in the year 1577. There was also the Remazet Piskei Nida and the Takun Hazanim, which was only very interesting, of the Taknot Harashbat, which was inserted in part of a responsa, respectively. Also, and I think in Rav Yehuda Ayash's responsa entitled the Bet Yehuda, also, which was also printed in Leron in the mid 1740s, respectively. So he was very much a great rabbi of his time. His Hilula is on Shushan Purim, respectively, naturally the 15th of Purim, which is Purim in, as we know, in Jerusalem. Don't forget to light candles in his memory. Friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. In this series already, we have covered a staggering 800 plus rabbis of great rabbis of yesteryear. We're an online encyclopedia. If you happen to be related or descended from any of these rabbis, please send me an email. I would love to hear more. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel already, please subscribe to the channel. We're a community here, and if anyone will be interested in watching these videos, please share the videos to other people. So wishing you all blessings here from Israel, from very sunny Bet Shemesh. I'm wishing you well, and keep up all with the good work. So take care and be well, everyone.